The darkness in me. I lose my way sometimes. Then again, doesn't everybody? It's like being on a roller coaster where you go up and down. But with me, it's more like a joy horror ride. When I first think of a day that made me feel like slashing my wrist was a dark day in September 2010 when I heard the worst news I could have heard. When my mum looked me in the eyes and said, "Shaylee, I've got some even worse news for you." And I looked deep into my mum's eyes and waited for the even worse news. "Your granddad died this morning." I was so heartbroken. I felt numb. I didn't know what to do. When I went to my grandmother's, the reaction was even worse. I broke down 4 times. After that day, I lost myself, and I didn't know what was coming next. Things slowly got worse, and I didn't know what was coming up next. The next things that are even worse. I've lashed out physically and hurt people. I'm uncontrollable if I lash out. It doesn't have much an effect on teachers, my mum, or anyone who cares about me. Here's the Shaylee Stone's bad list. My attitude, snappy and a drama queen. I do hurt people. I do have suicide thoughts. I make people dislike me. If someone was to mouth at me, I'd probably batter him. I break hearts. I may act like something that I'm not. When I think about people who criticise me, the usual is that I think I'm not talented, not pretty enough, unlovable, not smart enough, and it hurts. I now feel like no one really wants me, and that I can't trust anybody, and even writing this now makes me think about what I can't change or take back. But if I could, I'd like that. I thought school was going great until I came to year 10 and year 11. In year 10, I was hurt so badly by a boy who I thought I could trust. At the end of the day, I was a fighter because I did what I thought was right. Well, now it feels like I'm in the wrong. In the school summer holidays, I was dragged involved with a steerer who I thought was a mate. I guessed wrong and stayed at home for the rest of the summer. Everyone guesses wrong sometimes. It's to prove a point. Sometimes it's the untrue. Cavemen wrote on stone. I write the emotional stuff that can maybe make a change. I'd probably stay in the dark than be known by everybody. I guess I'm better off alone than have fake people who pretend to love me. I've been pushed to the brink of the ice, and the water's getting warmer by the minute. It feels like I'm slowly sinking and sinking. It gets to the breaking point of drowning. There are 2 sides to everybody. With me, there's the kind where you see me and I smile, when deep down I'm weak. And the stronger I feel, the weaker I am. My tears say different things. I'm a strong person. I'm fed up. I'm proud of what I do. Once upon a dream, I used to think of how life would be if I was famous. Now that dream's died. It's too impossible to think in the heat of the moment. I might say the wrong thing, but that's because I call it like I see it, the truth, even if other people don't. I'm trying to climb but stumbling on all the obstacles in the way. My life's a mess. When I was a day old, my dad left me. Me and my mum. When I was 4, my granddad had a stroke. When I was 13, my granddad died. When I was 14, I found out what was true and what wasn't. And now that I'm nearly 16, it's hard to breathe. In a couple of days, I'll have left school and be in college, where I'll meet new friends and have a new start, and maybe I'll be happier. Respect's a big issue for me, because no one treats me the way I treat them back. Now, I don't care if you're black, white, skinny, fat, Tall, straight, gay, lesbian, bisexual, short, rich or poor. If you show me that respect, I'll show you it back. The paths I choose may be right or wrong, but at the end of the day, we all have our problems. It's how we cope with them that makes it better or worse. I don't know what hurts worse, lying or slowly killing someone inside. Inside our hearts, we all have something that makes us slowly stronger. I do what I do because I don't want to get sympathy or attention for it. I'm a fan of doing it, and that's why I do the things I do. I feel like that in the moment, so that's why I do it. Everyone is either going to love you or hate you, but now, don't get me wrong, but I'd rather be hated for being unique. It's what makes me the person that I am. And if it doesn't make you happy, that's fine by me. Because it's my ideas. If the bombs go off, I'm not going to take cover. I'll keep one foot in front of the other, because home is where I lay my head. So under the stars I'll make my bed. If I was stood on the podium in court for who could change the world, who would be brave enough to stand up and say, I can change the world? That would be brave enough than just saying something else. Bad people have reasons for the way they are. Everybody has reasons why they act and say the things they do. Everyone's a winner in their own little way, and it doesn't take a trophy or a medal to prove it. If you're confident enough and have an attitude about yourself, why should you change it for anybody? You should never change that person who you are and who you've become. I linger between the past and the present, trying to hold on to something you wish you couldn't hold on. You couldn't. I can be confusing. Don't try to play me, because you might end up losing. A role model isn't someone you see in magazines. It's someone who sets the example of someone who is worth looking up to. I've had a weakness point 2 weeks before I'll leave, when a steerer told my best mate stuff that I do regret. When I went onto the yard, I walked up slowly and calmly, trying to show that I wasn't scared of what could happen, and I felt like I was ready to fight with words that could turn the situation around. But instead I got into a heated fight where a few members of staff had told us back. We were both in tears and we couldn't control the moment. But what I learnt from that experience was that something had changed within me. My adrenaline made me go to the breaking point of screaming, "That's it!" from the top of my lungs. Now, it's no soap opera. It's my life. The things I do, and I can't control the things that could happen, but what I can do is learn from my experiences. Well, that's enough. That's the end of this essay. I hope you can now put yourself in my shoes and somehow see the world from my perspective.